It was, I guess,
Call to order this special call police jury meeting on this Wednesday, October the 30th. I trust that each one here is doing well along with their families. I hope everyone is doing well on this afternoon. I'd like to call on Miss Annette Strawder. She'll lead us in an invocation and be the pleasure with us, please.
Okay, all heads bowed, eyes closed. Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for allowing us to assemble here. Right now, we lift those members that are not around this table up to you, because wherever they are, we want you to continue to bless them.
That's right.
But right now, we're also asking that what we do in this meeting, let it be approving to you and for the best of our citizens. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any public comment on the agenda items? Excuse me, need to approve the agenda as it is written.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded, and all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There would be none. So now I will entertain any public comment that might be on the agenda item.
I got one. The agenda is too long.
We're gonna rush through it though, Mr. Tibbetts. Okay, item number 1 on new business, adopt resolution authorizing filing of application with Louisiana DOTD for transportation grant and authorizing president to execute any documents relative thereto.
Michael, you wanna?
Yeah,
enlighten us on that?
Yeah, I sure will. So this is a routine action item that's handled annually. It's the first time any new jurors will be seeing this. This relates to the transportation portion of the health agency. So each year they have to have the contract executed by the governing body in regards to the DOT grant program that they have. And that averages probably a couple $100,000 just in that program alone. So we definitely need to take action on this. But it's just authorization from this body. That's what it is.
Okay, so we need a motion that we
So moved.
do that.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There would be none. Item number 2 on the new business. Property and general liability insurance renewal, and I'd like to call on Mr. Randy Graham, Fourth Insurance, if he would make his proposal, please.
I'll be glad to. Thank y'all for this opportunity. And if any questions arise, don't hesitate to break in. I'll be glad to answer anything you want. We've worked real hard for many years together, but we've worked real hard this year because of the status of the insurance industry in not only our state, but our region, and the issues that are there from a property standpoint and the issues that are there from an automobile standpoint. But one of the things I want to make crystal clear, we write quite a few parishes and quite a few municipalities, and I want to compliment, and I have been complimented, but it's only because of the way that the administrative staff here in Lincoln Parish and the board, how y'all handle yourselves. It's a guiding light from a standpoint of a political entity. And the company, I had a conversation with them this afternoon, and they said, hey, we represent hundreds of insurance companies, but from a municipality or a political standpoint, there's very few companies in the big scheme of things that do that, because it's such a specialty item. And they're very strong. The ones that we deal with are A+ rated carriers. Underwriter told me today that of all the ones that she looks at, she looks all the way through the southeast region of the United States. This is her favorite one to work on because of the attitude that the staff has, the attitude that the board allows them to have, and the way that they operate. And sometimes there's good answers and sometimes there's bad answers. But they're very upfront, very proactive in handling issues, and very proactive in handling opportunities also. So that doesn't need to go without recognition from our side of the coin. It makes it real easy for us to look at, we put out 27 different bids, and we had 18 responses. And that's outstanding. You know, usually in the marketplace that we're in right now, you might get 3 or 4 at best. But because of the loss ratio and because of the way things are handled and the way that it's governed, it creates a great opportunity for us to really look at the marketplace. And for the last several years, we've been with Travelers, and Travelers is by far, from a standpoint of not only coverages, but also from a premium standpoint, the best company to be with at this point. They're very active, they're very high on the parish itself. We just happen to live in an area, like I said, in the southeast part of the United States that right now has some insurance regulatory environment problems, has some weather problems, has some tort reform problems, a whole bunch of different things that affect the insurance industry as a whole. But with that being said, instead of seeing 40% and 50% type renewals and that type of stuff, we're very lucky to have what we have. In this particular instance, and I'm gonna have to talk somewhat in generalities because it's a renewal that happens at the first of the year. The one thing that we really want to concentrate on is replacement costs for the property side, proper underwriting and proper, basically employment practices liability issues that we have we have none. We've got a good plan. Y'all have a good plan from employment practices liability, workers' comp. Workers' comp is a shining star, to be honest with you. All of it's a shining star. But workers' comp, I've got every workers' comp company in the state of Louisiana wants to write them. And the benefits that they get from not only from the risk control when they come in and the answers and the compliance and the agreeability and to a point also to when we bring up something that makes more sense than what they bring up. As far as y'all are concerned and from the management side. But workers' comp is a tremendously strong side to this deal, and that's really important as far as the base of your employees and how things are handled. The only thing that I want to express is there's going to be some rise in rate from last year, mainly because they're looking at what would it cost today to replace the police jury building? Yep. What would it cost today to work out on 33 as far as the facility out there? What would it take from a standpoint of over at the old Temple Church? What would it take to replace those things? What would it take to replace the roofs? One of the proactive areas that the administration has already done in the past to keep the rate as low as possible is absorb a higher deductible, which with the way that everything is operated, it's extremely beneficial for y'all because generally you don't have a problem. But ultimately, if there's a catastrophic situation or a large loss, or we have to replace a library or a detention center or whatever, we want to make sure that we come out whole in that situation. So with the cost of construction these days right now, we're seeing an inflation on that. Hopefully that at some point in time in the near future or in the next couple of years that will ease, kind of from a cyclical standpoint that we all get into. But right now it's important. The last thing that I want to do is to have something happen, come to y'all and say, okay, yeah, we'll get that rebuilt, but it's only the money's only gonna be 2/3 of what the cost is. That's not what we want. That's not what the insurance is for. So we're doing a real study on making sure that we're caught up on our property values. And, you know, from a standpoint of looking at it from an automobile standpoint, you know, the safety measures and the procedures that are followed as far as operating the equipment and the vehicles that we have are very strong. They're looked at every year, modified every year. You can't ask for anything better than that. So everybody within the administrative side, and y'all are on top of the situation as far as making sure that they have the instruction and they have the ability to handle the machinery and the ability to drive and the correct attitudes when they drive the vehicles. So, with that being said, the bottom line in this deal is that y'all are the guiding light in a market that's not real strong right now from a political entity standpoint. And, probably the closest thing that I can say is probably 30% higher than what y'all pay in premium right now. And going forward, we have to, between now and the end of the year, we have to do our assessment as to what we need to do on all, and there may be a 10% increase, it may be 12, it may be 8, but there's gonna be some increase that goes into this because of the inflation side.
Right.
And, also, we don't know, I haven't really looked at the automobile, how many, if there's any new equipment, if there's new equipment taking old equipment, we're gonna have to insure that to value also. So it's what our general procedure is, but, I don't say this to anybody else. Y'all are in the strongest position of anybody in the political entity business right now.
Brandy, you got all of them, being a new guy on the block,
Uh-huh,
all our property, liability, and movables.
that's correct.
That's what you insure?
Yes, right.
Okay. So how many buildings do you have? Do you know offhand?
Just off the top of my hand, from a standpoint, probably 12 or 13, somewhere in that area. Some of the smaller stuff that may be outlying, because there's other dwelling coverage that goes along with some of the stuff. But the big ones that we have are the detention center, which we write that y'all run through there, because the detention center gets a great benefit of being on the police jury's policy because of y'all's expertise. The library, we've got this building here, we've got the building next door, we've got Temple, we've got Temple too, we got the building down below here, and there's some smaller ancillary ones, but we've got all of them.
Okay.
That's one thing we make sure, we don't, unless you want us to leave one off, we're not gonna leave anything off.
Right.
And the movables, just like at the barn, all those.
Right.
Heavy equipment
Right.
and all that, you got all that?
We've got all that, we're in the process right now of going through that and looking at what we have, what we might have going into the new year and what's still existing. And same with the automobiles, same with the FF&E, furniture fixtures, that are in all the buildings. That's a huge expense too if something happens. So we take all that into consideration.
And what about liability insurance? How much we have?
Oh, you got $4 million in liability insurance. You've got your primary liability, and then you've got $3 million umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. President, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Man, you sent out 27, you got 18 responses. Travel, we've been with them a while. If you had to pick another company other than Travel, which one would it be?
It would probably be CNA or Chubb, but either CNA or Chubb,
Okay.
which are both in that deal. They're both strong carriers, but at the moment, they're about 25 or 30% higher than everybody else. And they're extremely strong in the Midwest and in the Southwest. But right now, there's so many, because of the weather issues, and the only way I can explain it, I thank the Lord every day that we live above Alexandria, Louisiana.
That's right.
To a great extent.
Another one, our tort law.
Yes, sir.
That's bad.
Yes, sir.
What was that, Jordan, here?
Tort,
Okay.
Toward
trial lawyers.
trial lawyers, from an automobile standpoint, just in a general sense, both personally to everybody in here, including myself, Ernest, and everybody, personal automobile limits are extremely high. We're probably of all 50 states, at the best at 46, at best. At worst, we might be 49th.
Yeah.
And I sat on a committee prior to the governor's election that I was asked to sit on in Lafayette. I was the only representative. Our agency, due to our relationship with people like y'all, we're one of the largest agencies in Louisiana now. here, out of Ruston. But, they asked me to sit on this board. I was the only representative out of North Louisiana, anybody above Alexandria. And, the issues were, we've got a new insurance commissioner. We hope great things come from him, but he's got to get some compliance with the governor. Hopefully that'll be coming, you know. I use an example all the time, and right now, if somebody hits you and you do a scratch on the car, instead of getting out and shaking your hand, say, hey, I'll take care of that, it costs $100 to get fixed. They'll turn it in, a tort attorney will turn it in, or trial attorney will turn some gun in, it turns in $12,000 immediately. And, you know, you'll have all the lawyers' fees, all the fees for, the repair and people's necks hurting them and all kinds of stuff. It's not, like it was when most of us were growing up.
Right.
And don't we have like a $50,000 threshold?
We have a $50,000 threshold for
For bench
jury,
trial. Yeah.
for a jury. We've got to come back like the rest of the states and bring it down to a $12,000.
Right.
Right.
And that way, because right now, they'll run it up to
They'll
49.
they'll run it up, and then that's it.
Settle,
They'll
put the
settle
house,
it. It's
everybody-
all about settling.
Everybody gets paid.
It's costing all of us to make the effort to drive safe and to do, and be accident-free. It's costing all of us, I bet you, between now and what it was 11 years ago, 10 years ago, it's costing us 80 or 90% more.
Yeah, right.
And that's, and the other side of the coin is on homeowners, property insurance, it's, you know, stuff that costs $140 a square foot or $100 a square foot. Right now, it's costing $300 a square foot to build.
And that's just in the last 5 or 6 years.
That's
probably.
exactly right. So that's my
That's
job.
what you're dealing with.
That's right, that's my job, to take care of for y'all and find the most comprehensive coverage, just like the blower machinery coverage that we have here on this building. We had an opportunity to have, to use some of that. Our opportunity to cover what your exposures are at the most reasonable price that we can find, but, and then allow you to take the risks that you wanna take.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I got two more. On the Woodman's Calm, that show how Ms. Dyes and Jerry Corden them do with training, letting people know
How to
the
handle
rules and how to handle.
their business and their whatever their responsibility is.
Yeah,
We went through, and you'll remember this, I'm in the 90s, back when I was a lot younger, and Coach over there was slapping me around maybe a little bit, but, workers' comp was running people out of the state in the early 90s. I'm talking about businesses were leaving. And they called a Senate deal together, and they worked it out. And right now, it's turned out to be probably the #1 program in the nation.
good,
We need to do the same thing on automobile and property.
yeah.
Is the legislator up?
Our guys up here are all about it.
Yeah.
They're all about it. It's the I-10 corridor where you've got all the tort reform. There's still 3,000 cases that are being mediated down there
Yeah.
from the past hurricane. 3,000 that are still left.
Right.
And is the problem, you've got attorneys as legislator?
Yes. I'm not putting my thumb on attorneys, but you gotta have a little conscience about you. Because they're in the process of killing the goose that lays the golden egg to a great degree.
Well, if they had a conscience, they wouldn't be a lawyer. I promise you.
Any other couple?
I know I told a story, but I got one more.
Yes, sir. You said you had two, and that was one. Now you done one more, Mr. Jones.
No, we politicians about it. This motion for Jerry and Randy on the replacement of vehicle or no, the building. Are we using the depreciation in there when we look at the replacement?
Well, there's two different ways to look at it. You got actual cash value, which is what it's worth sitting here right now. And then you've got replacement cost. And replacement cost is the general direction that we take it, because let's say something comes through here and takes the top floor off or takes the roof off. and we have a lot of water damage, and it costs $1.5 million to get the repair done. Well, if you're on replacement costs, they're gonna pay you $1.5 million less your deductible. If you're on actual cash value, they'll probably pay you about 60%.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I was asking that.
That's right.
Of
That's
what the
correct.
building is actually worth.
That's right.
Right.
That's why I was asking that, cause
That's right.
Jerry would know that stuff, and
Yeah,
so that's why I was asking that.
yeah, that's correct.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Any other comments? Randy, you got any other thing you want?
No, other than the fact that we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that we manage the premium cost and keep it within reason of where it is now, as well as we can, and, do the best job we can to make sure y'all, as the directors and officers, is covered under this also. Y'all are covered appropriately.
Right.
And Courtney and his staff are doing a tremendous job making sure that they handle their business. And,
You said
y'all,
we covered how we covered.
that's right.
You said we covered?
You're covered.
Okay, I got to have a hip there, take care of
Hey, this guy's right here, the one you gotta
Yeah,
talk to.
yeah, that's right.
Hey, go ahead and get to them. Get to them.
Oh, my.
Okay, prior to having a motion and a second on this for the renewal, Randy, we certainly appreciate your complimentary, comments to us. And so we'd like to reciprocate and thank you for your professionalism. You always handle yourself very well when you come and you do this, so we'd like to offer thanks for you and your comments, and really y'all doing it too. Thanks very much. So, with that being said, I need a motion and a second that we,
Second.
okay. Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none, so it passes unanimously. Randy, thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Okay, next, item is group health insurance renewal, and Mr. Ernest Finch, Thomas Farr Agency will, make his presentation now.
Absolutely. So, I'll kind of echo what Mr. Randy said. Obviously, the position.
We all work together.
Right,
He's
exactly.
on Monroe office.
Yep.
Yes, I'm part of Fourth Insurance, renamed under the new Fourth Insurance Agency, Thomas and Farr. Had the benefit of serving you guys since 2018, so I want to thank you guys for that. The new people in the room, I appreciate the opportunity that you've given us to represent you on the group benefit side. Really is, and I echo what Mr. Randy said, work with Michael, Keisha, the whole team. I mean, that's just really puts us in a position to best market your account and take it to get the best prices going forward. So I'll be quick, but obviously any questions you have, I'm here to answer. The short of it is, the renewal for the health insurance for United Healthcare came back at 9.9% increase. So that was the initial talk. We went back, negotiated with them, and got it down to a flat renewal. So basically, because of the history you guys have with United Healthcare, the health of the group, they're willing to come off of that 9.9%, and it's gonna be a flat renewal going into the new year.
So
Okay?
that means the same as last year?
That's correct. Flat, excuse me, no change going into the new year on the group health insurance. And again, that's largely attested to the staff you guys have here and the measures you guys take for promote healthiness, promote different things within the group. That being said, we also have the dental insurance. We moved that last year from Meritain to Guardian. That's also taking a no increase renewal going into the new year. We're administering that for you guys. The vision insurance is also with United Healthcare, no increase going into the new year. So your employees on those three plans will see flat changes on those, okay? One item that is changing, the jury offers basic life insurance to all the employees and the retirees. It was formerly written with EMC Company. EMC they're pulling out of the market altogether for group life insurance. So basically, they sent a letter out, I believe you guys got a copy as well, saying we're getting off this risk. The fear at first was us being able to replace for the retirees, but we were able to get with United Healthcare, and they're providing that life insurance coverage for the employees and the retirees. So we were able to find that, and the rate's actually a little bit less than what it was with EMC.
What's that base, about 10,000?
For each one of the employees, and forgive me if I mess this up, employees 10,000, 5,000, directors are 10, and then retirees, if they were a director, it was 5, regular employee 2,500.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And that's provided for everybody upon hire.
Okay.
Does that cover the additional, like for employees that, pay for extra?
So the ones that pay for extra is gonna remain in place. It was just the group portion. Yes, sir, the basic, yes, ma'am, the basic line portion. We also went out to market. With that being said, we do represent PGRMA, which is the Public Government Municipality Association. We approached them, Blue Cross, Aetna, Cigna, took it out to market, and obviously the best position is again to remain flat with a company that the employees and the retirees are used to, and moving forward with it that way. On the retiree plan, they are gonna see a small increase on theirs, and that's due to governmental regulation. If you've seen anything with CMS, they've done a change, without getting in the weeds, on the prescription drug side of things on Medicare. There used to be something called a donut hole, and without getting into it, when a retiree reached a donut hole, they had to pay for those medications out of pocket until they came outside of it. Well, now it's all included. So when they include more coverage, they charge a little bit more, but that was a government regulation. So, we did go to Blue Cross, we did go to Aetna, Cigna on the retiree Medicare supplements, the United Healthcare being the best place for them also.
Gotcha.
So that puts us at 5 years out of the 8 years we've been with you guys that we've had a flat renewal, so, we're really pleased with that, and we'll take it as long as we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's tremendous in the health insurance.
Yeah.
It is.
So anybody got any questions? Mr. Henderson, do you have any other questions?
Just a comment, it's not just EMC with that, but, we had one insurance company with our church. There's some insurance company getting out of the church. They put them out of the state.
Right.
Yeah. So not just EMC with that, it's other, it's the board in Louisiana.
I think the
Yeah,
school board just switched from Blue Cross to United.
I heard
yeah,
that.
sure
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, United Healthcare is great. I mean, you guys have been with them for a long time. We've kind of jumped back and forth between Medicare and Blue Cross. So. And the employees seem to like it. We don't get any pushback. First year, obviously, when we moved it in 2018, there were changes, but
Right.
since then, it's been smooth sailing.
I think it's great.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Finch?
Mhm.
Okay, all right, thank you very much for that. We appreciate you coming and sharing and doing a professional job and a good job for that as well. So,
Shake your name.
now we'll move into, we need a motion and a second.
I so
We'll accept
moved.
it. Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Passes unanimously. Any other business?
I don't have any.
Public comment? Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
I so moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Adjourn.
Gentlemen, thank y'all. Ladies, thank y'all.